So, what's up, guys? I was like, I went from paying not the young lady who watched Kason, but with daycare, I went from paying 165 to 185 a week for someone to watch Kason. So then I went to 125, and now I'm at 120 a week for someone to watch Kason. And basically, I was like, I want to thank everybody who helped me watch, who helped watch Kason as I went to work, or because I was about to had to sell some ass to keep my house, right? So I think my sisters took that personally, right? Because I had my sister watching Kason, and at the end of the day, I would rather for Kason to be with family members over anybody else. But let me go a little bit backstory. I live in Baltimore City. My only sister and brother who was willing to watch my son, be it for free or if I paid them, live in Owens Mills, which is 30 minutes away from me, which is about 22 miles coming and going, which is 44 miles one way. Well, I guess with one trip. So if I was to come here and then leave, that's 44 miles, 30 minutes driving. So I did it for a month, and I was telling my son father, like my son father would be like, yo, that's a long ass bop. I'm like, yeah, but I want Kason to have time with my nephews, because other than that, Kason has not have time with cousins. So I was like, I was willing to pay my sister so Kason can have whatever little interactions with his cousins. So I was paying my sister $125 a week for her to watch him 5 days a week, so I can go outside and I can go driving. My car has a recall on it, right? So with my car and this recall that's on my car sometimes stalls out, meaning the car stopped running. So I wanted to take the car to the shop this previous Monday, right? So me taking the car to the shop, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to bring Kason, so we're gonna do it for every day you watch Kason, I'll pay you $25. So no matter how you look at it, if you watch him 5 days, you'll still get $125. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. So my sister kind of got mad at me when I said that. But this is the thing. This is a story. This is what behind it. If I'm not outside driving, I'm not making money. So because of that, I didn't work Monday. Well, I didn't work Monday, but I worked, and I was driving with Kason in the car with me, and which you're not really supposed to, but I did it anyway. Monday, I drove with Kason in the car. Tuesday, I drove with Kason in the car. Wednesday, I drove with Kason in the car, and then I did something that hurts me. Like, I don't like asking people to watch Kason. When I say I don't like asking people to watch Kason, because every time I ask somebody to watch Kason, oh, he's bad and da-da-da-da. But at the end of the day, Kason's only 23 months, so he's very active to be 23 months. So, let's go back. So, I posted the post on Facebook. And my sister, who was watching Kason, she screenshotted it and sent it to me. And she was like, you being drama. So I was like, how am I being drama? Right? She was like, never mind. So she was like, I was like, you must have took my post personally. But my post wasn't meant to be personally. Hi, Kim. So she's like, no, I didn't take it personally. Obviously, you did take it personally because you screenshotted it to me, right? So anyway, I can't really go into details what was said because I don't actually remember. But basically, my sister was like, my other sister, I have 6 sisters. I want to say that. I have 6 sisters. So another sister was like, yeah, because, when somebody do something for you, you supposed to look out for them. I am looking out for her. Because when I was out my sister's house, sometimes I wouldn't even go driving because my sister wanted to go to the store. Like for Christmas, I ain't go driving. For Christmas Eve, I ain't go driving most of the time because I was helping my sister go to the grocery store in which I should have went outside driving because I would make more money. So my sister, I don't want to actually say their names, but my sister number 3, let me say number 3, right? Yeah, my sister number 3 from the baby. I had inboxed her. I was like, first and foremost, don't make my post personally. I was like, since nobody wanted to watch Kason, other than my sister number 2 from the baby, I felt like I will pay my sister number 2 to watch him. But me driving 30 minutes to and from my sister's house for an equal of an hour was killing me, because I had to drive that ride to come here, and then I have to drive that ride to go back in the city to go driving with Lyft, right? Then when I'm done driving with Lyft, I gotta take that ride to come get Kason. And sometimes I can set my destination to come get Kason and make money, but then when I'm driving that ride back, it's hard for me, and I fall asleep behind the wheel. Well, not fall asleep, but I'll be dozing off behind the wheel, because at the end of the day, I gotta still drive 30 minutes. So I was like, don't make my post personally, and I told her about that. And then I was like, yo, I'm like, it hurts my heart. I'm gonna cry, but it hurts my heart that when I was pregnant, even before I was thinking about having a child, I watched all my sisters and brothers. If I looked on Facebook, my first Facebook feed, you will see me with all my nieces and none of my sisters being around. It's not one time can you ever see a picture that's in the background of Kason and me not being around where I wasn't at work. Not one. My sisters and them, some of them work, some of them don't work. But yet and still, I was the aunt who would come get nieces and nephews. Why? Because I wanted my nieces and nephews to know me. Since I had Kason, I have yet to get one of my nieces and nephews. I watched my nieces and nephews once or twice for my brother, because I don't mind my brother kids. Because, my brother has asked for Kason and has asked to do stuff for Kason. But nobody else has asked to do anything for Kason. And it's not, I don't want to force people to have relationships with him. Like I post on Instagram, like, yo, I'm done forcing relationships with my son. Like, if you want to have a relationship with my son, pick up the even though Kason is still breastfed, Kason do not need breast milk when I'm not around. When I'm around, yes, Kason wants me. But when I'm not around, Kason eats whole food. Kason will drink a little bit of whole milk. Kason don't drink. He likes to be around other people. Anyway, so people texting me. So, like, it emotionally do something to a person when everybody is on me, like everybody attacking me because what I post on Facebook. Yo, I was married to a person in which my ex-wife had many, I don't speak about it. If any of you guys know my ex-wife, please do not comment or put her name below this post. I don't want her name ever mentioned on my YouTube. My ex-wife was born in 79 or 78, so that makes her 40 right now. So when we was together, she was cool at first. She was cool, but once we got married, she was like, she had an issue with me because I was like her mother. And I was like, what you mean? So she was like, I was too doting, and I wanted to like love up on her. But the point of the matter was, my love that I would give my ex wasn't good enough for her. My ex was in a mental hospital, not once, not twice, but 3 times in 2015. Okay? When I left, she tried to commit suicide. She tried to commit suicide right before we started talking. Again, after I left her. My wife tried to commit suicide for a 3rd time. I think it was like November the 12th or something, 2015. So it's a whole bunch of shit that I don't share. But the whole thing with her and her mental issues. One, she was overly disciplined as a kid. Two, she felt like nobody loved her, right? So I don't want whatever was wrong with my ex to end up being installed in my son. So like everybody gets mad with me because one, I don't want my son to be around smoke. When I was a kid, my mother had 11 children. 11 children by the same man, right? So I didn't have a choice not to be around smoke because my mother and my father smoked. I have that choice for my son because one, I don't smoke, his daddy don't smoke, and anybody that I mess with, if you smoke, you need not to smoke around my son. I don't care if it's cigarettes, I don't care if it's an e-cigarette, I don't care if it's weed, none of that. I don't want it around my son because at the end of the day, secondhand smoke kills. So, you know, like the whole, I don't know, y'all need to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I don't have a Twitter. I don't know if I'm gonna get a Twitter, right? But y'all need to post. Y'all need to follow it so y'all can see what goes on. Like I literally had to block my sisters. I had to block two of my sisters because at the end of the day, they didn't feel like they was too opinionated on what I said. But the post was not my post was not meant to be taken as personally. You know, like I wanted my son to have a relationship with his cousins. When I say I wanted him to, I really wanted my son to have a relationship with his cousins. Because when I'm not at work, nobody watches my son. So I was like, I will pay my sister, you know? But like, I think Monday she didn't watch him. Tuesday she didn't watch him. So I texted her Wednesday, can you watch Kason for me from 11 a.m.? No, from like 1 to 11, right? And you know, she kind of like went in on me. Oh, because Kason here 12 hours a day and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, but Kason will be at a daycare for 12 hours a day. Like Kason be at daycare for 12 hours a day. Like I was paying $37 a day for Kason to be at daycare. And I'm not doing tick for tack because that's not the type of girl I am. So at the end of the day, was I paying $35 a day for my sister to watch him? No, but daycare versus my sister watching him is different. My sister watching him is him having a being bonus and being able to be with his cousins. And my sister feeding him and, you know, my sister doing his hair for me. Kason being at daycare. One, Kason's being fed and Kason's learning while he's at daycare. Right? With my sister, I have to drive 22 miles to drop my son off. I have to drive 22 miles to go back to work. With daycare, I have to drive 15, maybe 10 minutes away, which is only, say, 4 or 5 miles away from my house. It's only a longer distance because I gotta, like, go around to get to daycare. With my sister, there was a bonus because my sister didn't work and I was paying my sister. I guess a downfall because the hours with my sister was not really set because my sister do have kids and my sister do have to do things with her children. With daycare, the days is set, the hours is set. So was I wrong for putting Kason back in daycare? No, I don't feel that way. Was I wrong for posting something that I wanted to post on Facebook? No. I love my sisters. I love all my sisters, even though we have like a dysfunctional relationship. Like when I coupon, I give shit for free to my sisters and brothers. You need toothpaste? Here's toothpaste. You need laundry detergent? Here's laundry detergent. You need soap, like hand soap? Here's hand soap, here's body wash. But at the end of the day, like I feel like when Kason was born, like everything changed. When Kason was born, it was a distance. Like I had to distance myself because I don't want to feel like I'm doing more for our relationship than what you're doing for me. Before Kason, as I said, I always had my nieces and nephews. Now, I can literally say I have not watched none of my nieces and nephews besides Jada Jordan and Jace. And I watched them twice. Yeah. My baby will be 20. My baby will be 2. Let me say that. And not once did my sisters, just say, Cinda, let me just give you a break away from Kaysen. Even though I'm not working. Like, if I'm working, I pay people to watch Kaysen. And with my sisters and them, when they wasn't working, I just was like, oh, let me just get the kids for a weekend. Let me take the kids to New York. Just give me money so they can spend. But other than that, that's it. But Kaysen don't need nothing. I sent him with food. I sent him with diapers. I sent him with toys. I sent him with drinks and everything. But all I want people to do is to see it from my perspective. But yet and still, of course, I'm being petty and I'm being spiteful. And of course, I want everybody to do something for me where I'm not doing nothing for nobody else. Like, I remember when I was a kid, my aunts used to always have us. And I'm quite sure my mother couldn't pay nobody to watch us because my mother didn't have no job. I knew all my aunts. Kaysen don't know none of his aunts at all. And Kaysen is a playful baby. So everybody like, oh, you need to whip his ass. I'd be damned if I beat my kid. Especially until he's 2. I'm not beating him. For what? Like, I beat him and he go back and do the same goddamn thing again. Why? Because he's only 23 months. Like, out of everybody who knows about my son and that's related to my son, I can tell you it's one person that has asked for my son. And I was 2. His aunt asked for Kaysen, but she didn't follow through. She didn't follow through, and she didn't call me and say, hey, Cinda, I'm ready to come get him. Hey, you wanted him? It's your duty to call me and say, hey, Cinda, I'm still coming to get him. His cousin was like, Cinda, what Kaysen doing tomorrow? I said, nothing. I'm going to take him to my sister's house and let him go so I can go work. She's like, no, I want Kaysen. So I brought Kaysen to my sister. I paid her $25 to watch him that day, but then I still came and got Kaysen half day and took him to his cousin. She had him the other day. She said, Cinda, when can I get Kaysen again? I said, you can get Kaysen whenever you want. She said, I want him all day Sunday. Okay, you want him all day Sunday? I'm going to take him to church Sunday, and then you can have him. So, like, it takes a village to watch a kid or to have a kid. I don't have a village. Kaysen's godmother, she got 2 kids, 2 twins. The babies are 6 months, maybe 7 months. And yesterday, I was really, really upset. I was really upset and really frustrated. I was like, yo, like, nobody understand where I'm coming from. This. She was like, Cinda, sometimes you got to do what's best for your kid. Because at the end of the day, you have to take care of that kid. Nobody else is responsible for your child besides you. And I'm like, you know what? That's right. So she was like, I really think it's best for you not to have your sisters watch your son. Because when things go to the left, you're left not able to work. So I'm like, you know what? You're right. So everybody's mad. Like, well, Kaysen's energy is the way that it is, and you can't trust people with Kaysen because they're gonna be beating him. But what you gonna do? You gonna beat my son too? And hand to the man. And I never do this. I have a sister who's deceased. On my sister that passed away 13 years ago, not one person has ever told me my son, one person who's not related to me, who has watched my son, has ever told me that my son was bad. When Kaysen's with me, Kaysen is extra because I'm his mother, and I let him be playful. Kaysen do sit down, Kaysen do listen. So it's devastating to me when my family members don't have Kaysen. Like my sister who watched him, he was extra because his cousins was around. And his cousins plays, Kaysen plays too. But like when you don't have kids around and it's just you and him, Kaysen is calm and collective. Even sometimes when you have kids around and you more so, hey, sit down. Kaysen would sit down and do whatever he's doing. But it's just devastating every time that, I ask a sister, not a brother, but a sister to watch my son is an issue. My brother was locked up once. And when I was younger, I was like maybe 16, 18 or whatever. I made my nephew my son. My nephew and my son, My son and my nephew as babies look just alike. Kason is like a rebirth for my nephew. And it's 20 minutes into this video. I don't make long videos, but like it really devastated me. So like with posting on Facebook, like my baby father was like, you got to think about how people gonna take it. I'm like, well, I didn't post on my Facebook page and make it like a bad thing. I didn't. I just was saying, shit, I got a good, oh, I need a vent. Yeah, I guess I do need a vent. Like, I'm calling my ex-girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend and I been broke up since, maybe 2010. So it's 2018 now. Maybe 2009. Yeah, we've been broke up like, let's say 2009. And my ex-girlfriend is married. I'm on the phone crying to my ex-girlfriend, and she like, Sandra, don't cry. She like, wanna come over and eat pizza with me and me and my wife? I'm like, no. She like, you just don't. She like, all I do, for real, all I do on a regular day, I go driving, I get casing, I come home, watch TV, we eating. I guess that's probably another reason why I'm fat. But like, I don't go out, I don't do the clubs, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I say to myself. But because I am the way that I am, I'm weird. And, I'm seeking attention. But I really don't think that's what I'm doing. Like, I don't say a lot. I don't. Like, I was willing to pay my sister to watch my son so my son could have a relationship with his cousins. In which me paying my sister and driving was a very, very inconvenient type of situation because of the fact of me having to drive 2 hours, no matter how you look at it. But of course, nobody sees it my way because I'm being extra, I'm being dramatic, I'm bringing drama. I feel like I want to cry, and I think I cried enough over this shit. I think I really think I cried enough over it. Like, my baby father came over the house, and basically all I did was cry in my baby daddy arms. Because at the end of the day, all I want, I cried so fucking much. All I wanted was for my son to have a relationship with one or two cousins. Like, my nieces and nephews, they see Case and like, oh my God, he can talk. Yeah, he can talk. He can talk. He can talk. He can feed himself. He can take his clothes off. He can put his clothes on. He can say a lot of words. But because of the lack of village that I have, nobody knows what my son can do, versus what he can do. I'm gonna get off this live, right? Because I just feel like I just need to cry and let my tears out. And I can't let you guys see that. So I'm about to go back to where my other sister is, right? And I think I'm gonna just wait to get the stuff from my sister, and I'm gonna go home because at the end of the day, I really can't be driving with the car. I'm trying to be strong, Kim. I'm trying. Like, me being strong is me removing myself from the situation, right? And just staying to myself for a couple of days. Like, I was upset with the daycare lady telling me like 9 hours before, I had to drive or I had to go outside to make money, that she couldn't watch Kason. And then I text my sister because we already had a plan of her. Sometimes we already had a plan with my sister watching him. And then she was like, oh yeah, I forgot to call you and tell you yesterday, but I can't watch Kason besides weekends. And all I replied, even though I could have replied other stuff, was okay. Why? Because I didn't want to argue. I don't want to argue. I don't want to have bitter blood between me and my sisters. But I can see that that's how it's going to be. And it's fucked up, but I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm really tired.